Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Georgetown Tea House. This is episode 2 of the Dust Trail, where we're exploring modern day romance. Joining me in at the tea house today is Roxanne Hermanstein. Roxanne, welcome aboard.
Thank
We're
you.
soon going to be joined by Don J. Roxanne has some news for us, and we'll be talking about that later. All right. So please stay tuned. Welcome, and we'll be back shortly. Based on your own conversations with your friends, especially the girls your age and so on,
hmm
do you find that most women are still keen on the traditional form in terms of a man, like you say, being a man and playing
Um,
that role? Do you find that most women still tend to be that, or do you find that most of them
I
prefer
feel
the
like
half and half?
I feel like it's rare now because this generation has become the new man in the relationship, women.
Mm,
So they're more lenient on a man having to do barely anything to get there, to be in their energy in their space. Like he barely has to do anything. You're doing everything. You
mm,
know. It's rare. I feel like I don't see it as much.
mm.
And this generation is just more lenient on a guy doing the bare minimum, and I'm not okay with that.
Right, right,
Emotionally, financially, just the bare minimum, really, when I'm putting in 110%,
right. All right, thank you. We are back. My name is Anansi. With me is Roxanne Hermanstein. Roxanne, please introduce yourself to our audience. We're gonna talk about the event that you have coming up, but please do introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Roxanne Hermanstein. Born and raised in Guyana and migrated to the U.S. when I was about 2003, so pretty young. And now I am currently living in Hawaii with my husband, and I'm just here to shed light on some community work I've been doing, along with joining Anansi on his show to highlight his topics. But I'm just here to share love. That's it.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna start you off in the hot seat. Um, dating is when you hear that word dating, is it something that make you smile? Is it something that brings good memories to you? The whole thing
hmm
about dating,
I've had my mix. What can I say? I've had my mixed reviews of both, good and bad, if that
good
makes
and
sense.
bad, good
Yes.
and bad. All right. So let's head up to the topic straight up. A first date. Who
hmm
who in your mind should pay for a first date? Is it something we that we should do in the modern way 50-50, or is
hmm
it
The old school way.
yeah, something that
I was
should be
gonna say
done?
I grew up in the old school way, so to be honest with you, I honestly think the guy should. But it
Hmm.
depends on what type of date it is. It might be a date where maybe he wants to do a picnic in the park and he plans everything, and that doesn't, it doesn't cost him to pay a tab. It just depends on the guy. But then I think only because of the way that I was raised is that
Hmm.
the guy normally, would pay on the first date.
Right.
And but that's not
And
just saying you go and eat $1,000 plates, or I'm talking about US, or $2,000. You want everything so expensive. I don't know what the young man's budget is, but
mm,
just being a realistic first date.
realistic first date. And,
Yeah.
as you go forward into the relationship, you guys decide, okay, maybe you're gonna
Yeah,
start
you take
dating.
turns.
You haven't reached the stage of moving in yet, but you're
hmm
thinking about it. How do you
hmm
think you should deal with that?
I think at that point, depending on the woman, like she would, because for me, well, speaking for myself, I've after the first date, depending, like once you start getting to know that person, you might realize you like them.
Mm-hmm.
You might end up being the one that starts to pour out back also. Like I've realized myself wanting to do things for the individual because I've enjoyed their company, or actually like them. So that both parties can feel good in the relationship, and it's not just one
Mm.
party feeling good in the relationship.
Right, great, cool. Okay, as usual, I have my co-host Orlando Stewart in at the etc. room. All right, and also joining me this week at the etc. room is another professional, someone involved in the who works at a major hospitality and entertainment center in New York City, and that is Wendy Love. All right, so between Orlando and Wendy at the etc. launch, they're also going to be chipping in with their thoughts about
Okay.
the subject. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
let me go to Wendy first of all. Who's
Okay.
responsible for paying the bills?
As far as the bills in a household, or as far as bills when you
No,
go
you
out?
haven't reached the stage where
Okay.
you hooked up yet. You haven't reached there, right? It's early. It's early days, like they say. I think in England, it's early days. All right.
Hmm.
Um, who how do you, Wendy, approach the finance? Do you expect the guy, once he has invited you, that he pays, or are you going to say, we now getting to know each
Um,
other? Let's
yeah,
I'm
use my time. Sorry, I cut you off.
okay.
Um,
No, go ahead.
I want to use my time, and you're reaching out to me, and you're being, persistent. Like you want to court me and take me out. I think the proper way to court me, for me personally, is I would expect you to pay for the first few dates or something like that. But me personally, I like to give also. I don't just have people pour into me. I pour into
Hmm.
others also. So, and I'm a fair person.
Love if you're telling me when we're at lunch or dinner that you come up with your half and I pay my half. That's not going to work. It's not going to work for me at all. That'll be our last lunch, dinner, whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you're saying that if the guy suggests that during the early dates that you go to dinner, you go to lunch, that you guys split the bill, that's it for you.
Yes. I mean, I don't know anything about that. That is not morally a part of me. Like the way I'm raised or was raised is not for you to split the bill. And I mean, becoming Americanized, I had to learn that people would actually invite you out to have lunch and then be like, yeah, it's two bills. You'd be like, no, you invite me. How do you know I have the money to pay? Right? But yeah, I think they're men, and men should be gentlemen. And if you invite me out to dinner, you should not be looking for me to pay half the bill, because if I do it, I will not be looking for you or looking forward to you paying half that bill. I got you. I got you.
Mr. Don J, welcome
What's up?
aboard,
What's up?
sir.
What's up? Good night,
What's
everybody.
going on? What's going on? All right, give me, you're from a couple generations down from me. What's the dating scene like for you? How do you approach handling, the early stages of a relationship when you're dating? Who
I,
should handle the bill?
I mean, it's still rough water. It's because dating. I feel like a lot of people run away with the concept that a date has to be something that's extravagant and crazy.
Mm,
I mean, but let's go back before you even get there. You know, like the ladies mentioned. I mean, I was raised in the same way. Even if it's a friend, if you invite me out, what I'm saying, you're supposed to be taking care of the bill. But then when you come out to America, it's a
mm,
different change. Like the first time somebody invited me out on their birthday, and then we had to pay, right? So it's like, oh, I understand. Like that's the culture here. Like people invite you out and
mm,
assume that you you could afford whatever or wherever we go. You know what I mean? So, like when it comes to dating a young lady, if I'm pursuing her, like, and if I'm going out, I would
Mm,
definitely be looking to take care of that. There's
right.
a story that I allowed I allowed the woman to pay, and she was mad. She offered, and I all right, cool. And then I was getting dodged for a couple of days. You know what I mean? Like, you let me pay. I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. But you offered, So I was kind of stunned because out here ain't no woman offering to pay. So I was like, kind of, it's an experiment for me.
Right,
I'm like,
right,
all right.
right, right.
I'm like, she's
So, so,
swiping. Oh, she's swiping. All right.
so go over back there that a little slowly there, Don.
I'll do it a little
The young
slower. So,
lady,
so we
she
went on
invited
a
you out.
date. We went. No, no, she didn't invite me out. It was a date. Like,
Uh,
we set up the date to go out, whatever. And we went out, had a great time. We ordered the food and stuff. Food came, and then she's like, do you want me to pay? I got it. I'll pay for it. So I was like, so I was like, okay, you got it. Go for it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm watching the whole thing like, is she for real? This could not be
mm,
real. Like, I'm having my inner voice conversation like, fellas, this is not a drill. She is swiping the card. And then my text was unread the next day. You know? But
you were tested and you failed the test.
listen,
I think Wendy, one of the ladies I chatted with in the exit room, she has something to say about that. Let's call the guy Sam, and it's Wendy who has approached Sam at the mall. You know, maybe you know him from before, but you never spoke to him or whatever. But you've made the approach. You're the person who is interested in Sam,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to take Sam. Ask him. Would you mind hanging out and things? So you want to take him on a date. Who pays?
If I'm asking, I would want to pay, but I would expect him to be like, "Hey, I'm the guy," because it's like a turn on. Like when you lead as a guy, as a man, like it's like I know I brought you out here,
Mm,
but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't say, "Hey, you have to pay." I would definitely still pay, but it's like,
mm.
"Hey, are you gonna stop me or like?"
But you would like in a scenario like that while you're fidgeting
Yeah.
with your paws that he said, don't
Like,
worry that.
gonna ask now, but I would still pay though. But it was just gonna be like, I'm gonna be side eyeing him in the car, like, what kind of guy are you? But then they will have guys that will test you like that though. Will make you to see if you would pay,
Mhm,
and they want to see what kind of woman you are. Are you a gold digger? Are you after their pockets? Like they have guys that do that too. They will test you.
mhm.
But I haven't got tested yet, so everybody take me out.
Yeah, good for you. You see that?
exactly. I was testing it out. You know what I'm saying? I was joking. I was, you know. But I was able to
So
clean it up. We all good now. We all good. We got a baby now, so it's all good.
yeah. I mean, even with all the little advances we've made socially and thing, I find that most people are still in the traditional mode, and one website, money.com, they did a survey, and what was interesting is that in this survey they found that more men actually felt okay about paying for a first date versus the females. So just check these numbers. Yep, yep. So Roxanne, I'll come to you now. What's your take on that? The fact that the survey done by money.com, most men seem
Okay
okay.
with paying?
85% men okay with paying, but less women expect that a man should pay. What's your take on that?
Because of the day and age that we live in, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience. So before I got married to my husband, it was all independent, this, independent, that. I got it. I got my own. I can stand on my own grounds. Then I got married to him. He looked at me like, okay, there's only one man in this house. So how are we going to do this? And I'm just like, well, I haven't worn a skirt in so long. I don't know how to wear the skirt anymore. So I had to restructure my mind and allow my husband to be a man. Like, hey, you want to handle it? Handle it. You got it. No problem. But he had to provide me with that sense of security in order for me to be vulnerable and let my guards down. So I completely understand why 72% of the women feel like, hey, it's not okay. Like, it's not normal for a guy to pay, because we're so used to having to handle everything on our own. When we do meet a good guy or meet a man that wants to lead, it's hard. It's hard to believe them. So I completely understand both sexes of how it's done, how it should be done, or what people's thoughts are on paying for the first date. Because everything now is like either over exaggerated or it's done for social media. Because some females want the over extravagant, like the expensive dates, $3,000-$4,000.
We are not going to Peter Luger's on the first date. What's wrong with you? Like, no, hell no. You gotta work your way up.
I'm just saying, and it's like, this guy might really, really like you, and he has all the qualities, but because he didn't take you on a $5K date for the first date, you kind of like, oh, he's not that, or he's not. You'll be surprised. But then you got you might have a guy that knows how to play the game pretty well and will take you on that type of date on the first date. But after that, he's trash. So it's like,
yeah, because
we're gonna talk more about that one. We're gonna talk more about that one. All right, let's. Roxanne has an event, a benefit for a nonprofit coming up. She's gonna talk more about that. But appearing and performing at the benefit will be the man at the top of the screen, Don J. So I'm going to play something from Don J, and then Roxanne is going to, when we come back, Roxanne is going to tell us about her organization and the benefit. All right, this is Don J, and this is something called Mary Jane.
Yeah. Do you love me? Do you love me? Yeah. Do you love me? Tell me, do you love me? I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's the girl from right down the lane. Since I met her last summer, she's the only thing on my mind. From the first time I kissed her lips, got a taste I just can't resist. Mary Jane, you're one of a kind. Say you'd always be mine. Do you love me, Mary Jane? Do you really feel the same? Do you love me, Mary Jane? Do you really feel the same? Oh, she's so pretty with no makeup on. Don't need no perfume, not cologne. Mary Jane is a natural beauty. Don't need Botox or plastic surgery. Them say you're no good for me. Them say you're no good for me. But them not know what you do for me. Them not know what you do to me. Do you love me, Mary Jane? Do you really feel the same? Do you love me, Mary Jane? Do you really feel the same? Oh, I love the way you make me feel. I just can't resist you. I will never leave you, Mary Jane. You make my world complete. You satisfy me. Give me all I need. I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's the girl from right down the lane. Since I met her last summer, she's the only thing on my mind. From the first time I kissed her lips, got a taste I just can't resist. Mary Jane, you're one of a kind. Say you'd always be mine. Do you love me? Do you love me? Yeah. Do you love me? Tell me, do ya? Tell me, do ya?
And Roxanne is going to tell us about her organization and the upcoming day party for a cause. Go ahead, Roxanne.
Okay, so it's on June 17th in Brooklyn, New York at Clarkson Loft. Title of the party, Day Party for a Cause. And it's pretty clear. So it's a fundraiser event, but a day party at the same time. And all proceeds will be used in our upcoming medical and educational mission trip to Guyana, South America. And we're aiming for 3 rural areas. So we're heading to Linden, Pokwani, and Victoria. So with that being said, I'm just asking everyone to come out, party for a good cause. All your funds will be used for a good cause for our foundation, well, for my foundation. So I founded the Blueprint Foundation in 2018 with an objective to break medical and educational barriers in the rural areas of Guyana. And what really inspired me to start it was when my aunt got diagnosed with cancer in Guyana, and she didn't have the right access to care that she needed because of her location. And I just felt as though that was very unfortunate at the time. Luckily, I was able to bring her out here in the States to receive care, but I just told myself I wouldn't want another family to experience something of the sort. So if you want change, you got to make change, right? Or be the change. So hence the reason why I just started getting everything together paperwork wise, registering the organization. And so far from then up until now, it's just been friends and family supporting. So I just want to raise awareness now of everything that's going on in the foundation so that anyone else that wants to give back can definitely be a part of something great that's making change.
Okay. And how, how can they reach the organization? Where can they find the organization online? How can they reach you? And also tell
So
us how can they get tickets or whatever for the.
So if you the tickets are actually on Eventbrite. It's you can type in Day Party for a Cause and it'll pop up automatically. So that's where they can find tickets for the Eventbrite, or you have the option to pay at the door also. And then also for the foundation, we do have a website. It's called the Blueprint Foundation Incorporated.org. We also have a Facebook, which if you type in the Blueprint Foundation Inc., it'll pop up. And the same name goes for the Instagram, which is the Blueprint Foundation. So everything revolves around the name if you want to find a website or the Facebook and the Instagram. And for the Eventbrite for the tickets, once you type in the Day Party for the Cause, it will pop right up.
All right. Tell us about the name, Blueprint. Tell us what,
So it's originally when I first started it, I started it off as Benin Foundation. But because I wanted to incorporate more initiatives within the entire organization or be the blueprint for a new change, that's why I switched it to the Blueprint Foundation. So I'll give an example. Like this year, we had a digital literacy program that we introduced in Linden, and we had a total of 15 students where we taught them how to do web development and coding behind the scenes. So it was a free program to the students. We did it virtually, but some obstacles that I did face was the fact that some students didn't have access to laptops. Some had Chromebooks, and you really can't use Chromebook for coding. And then also the internet was really bad. So we still had some students that still triumphed and was able to come out with what was required to graduate from the program. But now I'm trying to build initiatives with different schools to be able to put this program apart, like set up a computer lab within the different schools in those areas and use the facility after hours to facilitate our students. So that way that would cancel their access to computers and also their access to internet. So they can just show up and just take in the information and utilize it for their own use.
Okay, great, great, great. We'll talk a little bit more, but that's the day party, and it's June 17th in Brooklyn. Don, are you familiar with the phrase "vex money"?
Of course.
All right.
That's something
Roxanne, tell us, um have you had reason to use
My
Vex
vex money.
money? All right. Think about it, and let me go over to the Etc. studio to chat with Orlando. Okay. What have you found among, your girlfriends? Are they still in the traditional mode where they expect, the guy should foot the bill, or are they, more the modern woman where they can handle their half, or sometimes all of it? What's it amongst your friends? What do your friends say?
So, being honest, the ones that are very dear and close to me, I think they have the same mentality like I do. And one of the things that I've learned through the years, and I think they have the same principles too, is that we always walk with Vex money. Because I don't want to say something that you don't like, and then you be like, you pay for your half, and I ain't got nothing to pay, or I can't Uber myself home, right? So I'm gonna make sure that I always got my Vex money.
Break down the Vex money phrase for those who are not from the Caribbean, or who are no soca. Tell them what's Vex money.
So, culturally, us from the Caribbean, or I mean, it might be the same for Americans, but just known in other terms, Vex money, it's money that you actually walk with. And back in the day, they tell you that you put it in your bra just in case that you go on this date and you and that person does not work out. And they're mad enough to be like, pay your own bill, pay for your own food, or find your ride home. Basically, most of the time, it's find your ride home. So you make sure that you got that money, which means that they mad, which is Vex. So they mad and they ain't paying for nothing. So you got your money to make sure you make it back home, or you can pay for your meal.
Right. Walk with Vex money. I think I'm gonna find that calypso and play it, because I haven't heard that term in a little while. All right, where are my folks? Where is Don and Roxanne? Tell us about your experience with Vex money.
I never had to use the vex money part so far, luckily, but she's right. My mom did instill that in me growing up. No matter where you go or whatever you do, just make sure you always walk with your vex money. Make sure your vex money is there. Wherever you need to keep it on you, because you never know. You don't ever want to leave yourself stranded. I guess I never had to get myself, especially recently, like my recent dating before marriage, is that I guess I would drive myself to the location. So I never had to get stranded, or hey, if the Vex money thing come out, I could still like leave the situation and still be fine. No, I
Right. Or
haven't had to
if you
use
had to
it.
pay for your part of the dinner or whatever, you could.
She's right though. That's a good one. I ain't hear Vex money in a while, but I do remember it. It's something my mother introduced me to. Make sure you get your Vex money.
What's your, what's your take on the Vex money thing? No.
Vex money is something. It's not even just a sex thing. Everybody should walk with a Vex money. If somebody invite you somewhere, because like as a man, I always have to walk with me Vex money. So I never used to play them games. Either like even friends invite me out, we gone somewhere, like and I ready for roll, but they ain't ready for roll. I could go,
That's a very interesting point. That's a very interesting point, because I would have found myself in that kind of situation sometimes. You're gonna hang out, whatever kind of function or whatever, and you want to head out. Maybe you went,
hmm
you went,
You
you got a
carpool,
ride with
you went with
everybody else,
friends,
and you want,
whatever,
and
yeah.
everybody else already, right? So you want to get out, yeah. So I have, that's an interesting way to actually look at it, right, in terms of Vex money.
Tell
Bob,
them I said, I got you. I can pick you up. We can go to the place and then bring you back home. And then, yeah. But no, I will make sure if you're ready to go, I
you
can
you
go.
you you got your vex, man. All right, all right. We're gonna tap our feet just for a minute or so as I take you guys down memory lane. Orlando and friends, I hope you're jumping in Carolina there. This is Vex. This is a little bit of Vex money.
Christine tells your daughter, when you're dating fellas, walk with your dollars in case of any horrors. These men today, they have this blooming complex. Anytime they date you, they feel they must have sex. You must be defensive and not so sensitive. Making to no straight to departure would be immediate. Walk with X money and take the next taxi. Walk with X money and say later for he. As he start with he fresh talk, rolling the eye like a chicken hawk. As you hear his song in strange, stop finger in your small change. Walk with X money and take the next taxi. Walk with X money and say later for he. Langa danga dang 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 dang. Langa danga dang 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 dang. Langa danga dang 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 dang. Langa danga dang 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 dang.
All right, that was Explainer with Vex Money. Walk with Vex Money. All right. Roxanne, what's your vision of a good first date?
My vision
And,
of
and, and don't and don't be afraid if your husband wasn't able to extend that courtesy to you. Just
you
tell
know
me
what?
what's your vision of a good first date.
So I'm a foodie. So yeah, food should be somewhere in the equation. I'm a
Mm,
foodie. But I guess a very spontaneous night, as far as like maybe going out to eat and then possibly doing it could be a walk in the park to have good conversation, because besides me being a foodie, I love to have very good conversations, because some people just don't want to converse a lot, and I'm like, I need to be able to stroke your mind a little bit to hear what else you got behind there. So for me, I would say conversation, food. It can be a walk after, it can be a movie, something simple. I don't require much. Or we could try something new. We can go little putt putt, I don't know, a game thing after, like something that's like rejuvenating to both parties and enjoyable.
right, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Don, what's a good
that's a
first
good
date?
first date for me.
Well, the good first date is kind of different from the man's perspective, right? Like
Mm,
from my experience, what I've learned, like the first date is is dependent on you, really, because you have to be taking notes from the conversations from before, so you could get an idea of. She would really paint the picture for you of what the
mm,
first date should look like. You know what I'm saying? So if you was taking good notes throughout, the courting phase where you're having conversations, whatever, the first date is where you kind of show that I was paying attention. You know what I'm
right.
saying? So then when I say it also depends on you as well. So like there's different stages. There's some people that you would date that you find you're very comfortable having conversations with them. It just comes natural and easy. Then it might be some girl that make you nervous. If she makes me nervous, I'm gonna take her somewhere distracting. You know what I'm saying? To a movie or something that would spark like a spontaneous conversation, like
Okay.
from
Right.
so but if we're comfortable, I'm definitely taking you someplace that we could talk, you could hear me, I could hear you, nice ambiance, definitely food always wins.
Right.
you know um
And like
yeah,
Roxanne said, food wins, right?
food wins,
Uh, food wins. Let's go to
but
Wendy and hear about her. What would you consider a good first date?
A good first date. Um, as far as like no activities really,
Hmm.
but more like getting to know a person. I would probably say Top Golf. It's a place where you can, golf and stuff like that, and you can also have like that one-on-one convo or something like that, and still
Right.
have fun at the same time, like.
Okay. Give me an idea of a perfect date, a great date, Break it down. What's a perfect date for Orlando?
Oh, gosh. I think a perfect date for me. I would love something moonlight. Being on it's a moonlight dinner. Maybe it doesn't have to be prepared by us because I'm not cooking, especially on the first date. So let's order something maybe, or even if let's say we go to a restaurant, maybe the open sea is there, nice moonlight, the sand. I would like something like, I would love something like that. The moonlight,
The moonlight. What about the moonlight? What about the moonlight fascinates you?
I mean, it puts you in that mood. You might just get a kiss. You might just get a little kiss and a hug and get to stare in these nice, this beautiful green gray eyes. You might get something. I mean, I ain't gonna go overboard now. You can't get all the goodies at one time. You got to work for it. But definitely, you might get a kiss. Hold my hand.
I have to take note of that phrase you just think, because that's going to be another conversation. How do you break down the giving of the goodies? That's for another time. What do you think? What do you think about the moonlight thing there, Roxanne? Would you?
She's right. When she said that, I just remembered. I was like, crap. Like, in the sand by the beach. That's something my husband does a lot. He would because Hawaii, we got access to all these beaches, so we'll just go by there and either do a picnic by the beach. And it's something about the moonlight and the ocean sounds that's like so relaxing and peaceful. And I didn't realize how relaxing and peaceful it is until I started living here.
Okay.
Before that, it's like, all right, you go to the ocean, or you go swim, and you take a swim, you come back out, and that's it. But you don't really get a chance to like really sit down and take everything in. It's like white noise to you. It's like peaceful and like relaxing.
I like that for you.
It gets you in the mood.
And
it gets you in the mood.
And it gets you in the mood. Oh yeah, she right about that part. You might not even leave the parking lot by the time the moon done with you.
I like that for you though, that your journeys took you to Hawaii now, which is
right?
And then it's now you and your husband are located out there. Now y'all got some stressful jobs, so it's beautiful to walk out into paradise after dealing with that. You know what I mean? So kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
The moonlight. Okay. Karen, one of our viewers, she's saying food and great conversation. And that little outdoor nature walk always does it. All right. And basically you were speaking to that, Roxanne, in terms of being on the outside, having the moonlight thing. Don, have you had the moonlight experience?
I'm from Guyana, but we had the best moonlight. So she's talking about. They don't know about no moonlights out here.
Don, what was you doing in Guyana? Because when you left Guyana, you shouldn't have been seeing the moonlight.
What you mean? Every blackout is a good opportunity to see
he should
moonlight.
be up by 6 o'clock and 10.
Exactly. That's why I want to know what Don is doing in Guyana. Because
I came up here as a big man. I came here at 22. I had at least 4 years of moonlight.
4 years of moonlight.
You started 18. Look.
That's what we can tell Facebook.
Right. All right, we're going to talk some more about the day party. So Roxanne, where did Roxanne go?
I'm right here.
All right. Tell us about, some of the folks you're going to have performing at the day party for a cause.
So Dawn will be there, of course. And that song that you just played, I definitely want to hear you sing that song. So make sure the song
that was Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, yes. I definitely want to hear Mary Jane. I was over here jamming in the car like, oh my God, I love that song. I heard it before, but I think it sounded even better hearing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Amika Punch will be there, which is Lisa Punch's sister. And Gaddy G will be there also performing. So I have performers lined up. They're all Guyanese artists that I want to support and get out more awareness for. And then also we'll have great food. So everything you can think about, the black pudding, the white pudding, all the Guyanese food that you can think about that you haven't had in a while will be there. Great drinks, a great atmosphere, ambiance, people, and we will be doing some raffle prizes. So the raffle prizes, as far as like what the prizes are, it's a secret because I have a big one in my pocket that I can't wait to give away.
Okay.
Because I've been working hard on those raffle prizes. And then also, you'll get an opportunity to learn more about the mission, learn more about what we've done in the past. You'll be able to see some footage because we'll have a display up where people can see like past footage of all the work we've done in Guyana so far. And yeah, it'll be hosted by Mel Vibes. He's a Guyanese comedian. And I'm just excited to see everybody. I'm
So
taking this night off.
tell us where in Brooklyn. Give us the address. Tell us where in
It's
Brooklyn.
1018 Clarkson Avenue. So it's Clarkson Loft.
Okay,
I don't know
Clarkson
the
Loft.
between
Clarkson.
streets.
All right.
Don probably know better than me.
Yeah, it's between 92nd and 91st on
There you go.
Clarkson. East
All right.
Yes.
92nd and East
That's
91st.
Clarkson Loft. Now, for those who may not get to the event itself, how can they contribute to the mission?
So they can contribute either by dropping off supplies because I'm always shipping supplies home. Supplies is never too much supplies, to be honest with you. Or if they don't want to do supplies, they can do a monetary donation either through the Eventbrite link, which where you buy the ticket, there's a link saying donate. You can donate through there, or we have a donate tab on our foundation page.
Okay,
So
tell us the URL
of the foundation, it's
Yes.
www.blueprintfoundation .org.
Okay, that's blueprintfoundation.org. Oh,
Inc.
Inc.
.org.
So,
Yeah,
INC.
I'll put
so
it in
Okay.
the chat.
Okay.
this young lady is being very, very humble as well because I'll tell you one of the reasons that I'm really fully involved with Day Party for a Cause, and what she does is because you know the initial where it really came from, right? The first time she did this thing, when it was just an idea or just a thought, you know what I mean? She was letting me know as she was writing things down what she wanted to do, and she really went out and did it, with her own money, right? Put her money where her mouth is for the vision that she had, you know what I'm saying? And she went to Guyana with several people who were not even Guyanese. You know what I'm saying? She was able to enroll them to come down and give back to Guyana. And that just motivated me because I wanted to give back in so many ways, but like I know what my capabilities are, and my restrictions also. So now this gave me an opportunity to help somebody who's really like doing this thing genuinely, you know what I mean, to give back. So with these things, with these nonprofits and stuff, the first thing you think about is like, oh my God, are these people true? Are these people real? You know what I mean? So my involvement with her is her genuine, love in giving. You know what I'm saying? So for her, you see me, I will go and make sure I could support her in any way that I can. You know what I'm saying? Because this is somebody who really genuinely wants to give back. You know what I'm saying? It's also giving others an opportunity to give back. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know where or how to, what's the first step. You know what I'm saying? So now this is an opportunity for you to, support an organization that is directly going and affect communities where we came from. You know what I mean? So, you know, she's here and she told you guys about the Blueprint Foundation. And before the Blueprint, she used to go as the Benign Foundation, which was just, giving from her. You know what I'm saying? So now that again, she's going to Guyana with a whole bunch of people that are not Guyanese. I don't know how she enrolls these people, but God knows, He gave the vision on her heart that she's executing. So I want to say, big ups to you, and it's okay to, it's okay to really let people know who you are. You don't have to, hide it and be like, oh, I'm so humble. But at the end of the day, like, what you're doing, I hope you inspire more people. We need a lot more, you know what I'm saying? And I'm here to support you in any way I can, you know what I'm saying? So people who can't make it to this event, please donate, whether it be canned goods. I know y'all got things in y'all pantry, guys. These people got pantry with things for days inside that they don't even know what they got because the house always got food. So if you don't, if you're not comfortable giving money, or you could give in some kind of way, because everything is transparent. She's gonna even show you what she's been doing, over the years, even through the pandemic. So you get to see exactly where your money is going, and she created a event because we like to party, the young ones, and I feel like the elders should look who we're looking on and see this young lady who is really trying to create a culture now. I already like party, so let's make sure let's do something where the proceeds actually help somebody that's less fortunate. You know what I mean? So big up yourself, and thank God for giving you this vision, and you're doing a great job executing it. You know what I mean? So I have to let the people know a little bit of the history that you're hiding.
Thanks, Don. Don, why you had to make me cry in front of these people?
Listen, because you're a real person. That's real. It's a natural reaction. I know you didn't expect me to do that, but
I did it. You know I'm always dimming
you
myself
yeah,
down.
but no, you're not doing that. Not when I'm around. Not at all. You know. What we saying, Guyana? Big up yourself. You do. You do. You muted it, Anansi. We can't hear you.
Roxanne, if you're please that's Mr. PR. Don't
Yeah.
it can't get a better pitch than that. It doesn't get better, folks. It's
Right?
their party for it. Okay, Roxanne, maybe she's
I'm here
Roxanne.
back.
She
Um,
was wiping her eyes.
my wife was asking if you're a crybaby. You remember the GT term, crybaby? My
Tell her
wife wants to
no.
know if you're a crybaby.
Tell her no, I'm not a crybaby. It's just that I get pretty emotional every time every time I talk about the foundation and the work that I'm doing. I guess because I'm so passionate about it, and it's my
Mm.
heart and it's my baby. And Dawn is one of the few people that knows. It gets to me, like it really gets to me. So yeah, tell her I'm not a crybaby. I'm just emotionally attached to my baby, which is the foundation, because I know, like, coming together as one, and as a whole, like, even though we move away from home, we still look back because we know that's where our roots are and that's where it
Mhm.
started. And you never forget where you come from, right? Home is home. Home will always be home. So I'm like, I really, my vision that I have for where the foundation will go and the amount of people that it would help, I just, it's very, like, sensitive to me, because
So
this is something that I'm really working on hardly, and I just really was.
so let's get a glimpse into that. Like, what is your vision for this foundation in about, let's say, short term, like 5 years? What do you
5 years.
think this Blueprint Foundation will be doing in 5 years?
5 years from now, my medical mission trips will be on a larger global reach, as far as, like, where, as in, we'll be able to do more than just three people's, like, literally three places, correction. So right now, like I said, this year we're doing Kwakwani, Linden, and Victoria, right? Like, I want to do it where we at least get to do it twice a year. But eventually I do want to open up a clinic. That's like my biggest vision. A clinic that offers free care, but not just any type of free care. Like, free care for, like,
For
where
the
they
real
actually look
traumatic,
in. Real,
yeah,
yes, yes. Because
the
I
things
mean,
that are affecting the community.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're bringing more things into Guyana, but I feel like it's more for people that got money. And if you don't have
Mm.
money, it's like, forget about you. So that's something that I want to do. But then on the educational standpoint of it, it's my goal to make sure that all these schools that don't have a computer lab, I really want to start building a computer lab in each school one at a time. Like that's literally my goal. So that's two things I could say. 5 years from now, I should have a certain amount of computer labs that's founded by the foundation around Guyana in those different areas.
I'm glad you were able to give us that kind of insight because I'm already coming up with some plans to help you in that area for sure. You see, that's why you got to put these things out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
man.
that's something that is definitely needed, and Guyana, who's going to be in the forefront of the West Indies, you should say, or the Caribbean. There's a lot of catching up to do in certain aspects, and it's gonna get there, but in the meantime, between time, that's where people like you step in and us, and we try to fill in the little gaps.
Yeah.
All right. You're watching the Dust Trail of Love, where we're talking about splitting. Should we split expenses during the early stages of dating? And we're also talking about the Blueprint organization that's holding a fundraiser on Saturday, June 17th in Brooklyn. All right. And one of the people performing is Mr. Don J himself.
Baby, I've been longing to tell you just how you make me feel. Every time I face you, all my thoughts disappear. Searching hard for the right words to say, hoping to get it right next time you come my way, girl. I can say a million things you've heard before, but how do I explain what I never felt before? I'm a man, swear I'm never lost for words. Thinking of you, baby, I just can't calm my nerves. Butterflies, you give me butterflies. Butterflies, you give me butterflies. Butterflies, you give me butterflies. You give me butterflies. You give me butterflies. Would you believe me if I told you I see heaven? Heaven in your smile. Would you believe me if I told you I saw the future looking in your eyes? Butterflies, you give me butterflies. Butterflies, you give me butterflies. Butterflies, you give me butterflies. You give me butterflies. You give me butterflies. I believe you and me will live like J and B.
That was Butterflies from Mr. Don J. And Don J is going to be at the day party for a cause. All right. So, folks, you want to hear good music, feel good vibes, and support a good cause, head down to the Clarkson Loft Saturday, June 17th. All right. Let's close off our chat about dating and love and so on. Roxanne, have you found that this thing about money and finances and how should we split it? Um, do you think it has, or how do you feel once intensity factors in, meaning if somebody really likes the other person, is does money become a big thing, an issue?
I think each situation is different. So finances are very important in my point of view. Even if you don't have it all, as far as like have it all together, being able to know to at least control what you have, that little bit that you have, actually makes a difference, because I feel like a lot of relationships don't last because once they do get deep and rooted in, money becomes a problem. Then you find out that person was just bad with finances. So for me, it's very important. Like I said, even if you don't have it all together, I mean, like, it's important that you know how to manage your money. And in America, we know credit is everything, right? At least have some proper credit. Something going on. Once we start getting real serious, you got to have your things in order. If not, we work to get there. Or if you don't want to work to get there, I might have to leave you there, because you ain't gonna stress me out with money business.
I have to leave you there.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level of stress.
But Don, have you found like in your instance? Okay, let me go to Orlando. Orlando talks about a time of being a little lenient, right? And then the harsh realities of life stepping in, and she decided, I'm done with this. Let's go to Orlando. Have you found that the let's call it the level of love that one feels, how how much that influences how the decision is made with regard to money? Meaning, if you really like a guy, have you found that you think of that less, and you're more willing to spend if you have to spend? You don't really study it. Have you? How does that? How do you see that?
So once upon a time, right? Once upon a time, the woman I was, love. I'm an Aries woman, and we love hard. I mean, we start from the top. So when you mess up, there's no way to go then down, right? So we start from the top with our love. We give it all. We give our heart and be like, here you go. So if you want to mess it up, stomp on it. That's your loss when I'm gone, right? So the woman I was once upon a time, when this love step in, I buy you the world. And one thing about me, I love when my other half looks sharp.
I hear you.
I'm gonna make sure you sharp. Period. Right? I make sure everything is of the best. But then once upon a time, there are people that don't stop learning in this century, learn how to stop appreciating and more like think that, hey, here's a party I can use and I can ride and I can spend and get whatever I want. So then they start taking your kindness for weakness. And yeah, when my door is shut, it's shut. It's not opening back at all. So, so once upon a time, yes, when love lived all the way in here, I give the world. Now, like grandpa say, learn to say no once and only one person gonna be mad. The person you said no to. You say yes, it's two people gonna be mad. You because they ain't giving you back what is yours, and them because you asking them back. So no.
All right, that was Orlando talking about an earlier time, when she was a little bit more giving. But people got this way to like to take advantage, right? Roxanne, what's your advice on dealing with people who like take advantage? The men,
Leave them.
especially men, yeah.
Once they show you who they are, believe them. I promise you. It took me getting into my late 20s and 30s to actually like be like, yep, when I see that flag, I'm not going to get a torchlight to see how big the flag is. The flag showed itself, that's enough. I don't need Ray Charles glasses to put it on to say I'm acting blind, to say, hey, I can't see this thing. It's there, believe it. Do not second guess yourself. And for me, us women, we have an intuition. So the intuition is always telling me, hey, something ain't right. Believe it. But we be like, he might be another good person. Let me dig and see if I can find this good part in he. Then you end up digging, you never find the part. And then there you go. Out of time, out of resources, out of all your energy because you decide you want to dig and ignore your intuition. That's one thing I thank God for is the intuition that he blessed women with. We know. We know when it's wrong, but we just, the love and being caught up and trying to figure out what's going on, we bypass the intuition and the intuition is be right at the end.
As a woman though, what can lead a woman to want to ignore that intuition from your own experiences? Is it this feeling of overwhelming love?
Yes.
What is it?
And wanting to see the good in people. And, I think he can become a better person. If you just give him time, he'll change. And yeah, I don't know which part to we brain is go. Is go where we could just ignore it. But I think it's the fact of the feelings and the emotions and what could be, but what would not be. It's like you want it to be, yeah, what could be, but it's not a could be. It's like it's not happening. Like just believe it for what it is and keep it pushing.
And then it's a slippery slope because the what could be is all part of being in a relationship as well, because you're in a relationship with somebody, merging your lives together based on what could be. You know what I mean? So when the situation is slippery like that, you could get caught in those lines. Like,
Yep.
because the thing about finances, you know, um, finances is a slippery slope for the fact that you could be up and then you could be down. Everybody with
That's
money
so
know
true.
that. You know what I mean? Like, one time everything could be burning on all cylinders, and then in the blink of an eye, you could be down again. You know what I mean? So it's situations like that also build characters and build relationships, but it could also be the downfall because when everything is pretty and peachy, you don't get to see how people
Or when things go hard.
until the environment changes. Then you get to see who they are. Sometimes when you get to see that person for who they are, y'all already deep in the game. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You
Yeah.
got you got so many merged things happening. You got so many things going on, and it's like wow. And then it could be another way. Because like the difference between the male and the female in this perspective is that a man naturally would do for the person that he's in love with, or the person that he is
And
trying to make his wife. No, so naturally he's going to want to. I've seen a lot of men put women through school and do whatever their vision it was, right? And support them naturally because it's kind of expected. Like he wants me. This is what I want to do. He's supporting me. Now on the other foot, when it's unnatural for a woman, you know what I'm saying? It happens, but it's still unnatural. So at the end of the day, if it got a glimpse of it's not going right, the fact that it's unnatural is going to kick in. Like, I'm doing too much. Who's this guy? What's happening? So, like I said, the financial thing is very important. It is the make or break of every relationship. You
Nobody
know,
wants to be without money and stressed.
the security is, the number one thing, especially as it comes to women. Especially now, women are so much more advanced than back in the days. Like, women are way more educated. Women hold so much more positions in society now. So it's like when women find themselves being elite, it's hard to find a lover that is going to
That's on their
come to
level.
plug in, yeah, to come and plug in with, all the things that they got going on. So
Or
it's a
sometimes they might find one that's on their level, but normally those that's on their level are already.
exactly, they're not looking to chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're not looking to
Mhm.
settle down.
That's another interesting discussion I have to note. Finding the right one at the wrong time.
And,
Yes.
and another one that came to mind while she was speaking was, when was the time to have that conversation? Because most times when that conversation arises, it's too late. When do we talk about finances?
Right, right, right.
And so that's the thing. Everybody want to
Roxanne, I'll
talk about
close
it.
by asking you this.
Hmm.
Um, I know now this is a game that some people play as tenants, where they rent, they pay the 3 months, right? And they will pay the rent on time for the next 3 months,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And then after the landlord got fight with them for about 5 years to get them
Hmm.
out, all right?
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
do you deal with a guy who, I mean, he pays for everything at the start? I mean, nothing is a problem,
Hmm.
right? And then, um, as happens, sometimes it happens, especially with guys who live here, and maybe the young lady is back home,
Hmm.
and she been getting barrels and stuff, and when she come here, it's like, wait, wait, wait. How should a woman deal with a situation like that, Roxa? I mean, you've been getting,
Yeah.
you might have been getting nice things for a few years, so, and then you find out that we, not something into right. How do you deal with that?
I'm laughing because I'm like, I've been in a situation like that before.
You're like,
Where
how'd you know?
everything was right. Everything was right up until a certain amount of months. Then I realized things started drifting and going the opposite way. And the funny thing is, if the woman really likes you, she's not gonna run right away. She's not gonna leave you after the first month or the first week if she really likes you. That's just, I'm being honest, right? But then you realize, hey, this thing ain't drifting, it ain't changing. And then by the time you look up, you 4 or 5 years in with this person, sis. Call it quits. Don't even put down the second ring. If you got the first ring, you can give you back the first ring, or go and pawn the first ring, collect some money for it, figure it out. I don't care. Don't put down the second ring because it's not gonna get better. Like, it's not gonna get better. You're just fooling yourself. So for me,
Hmm.
because you guys are just at that dating stage, it's not much to legality stuff that gotta get separated, right? So
Right,
you
right.
go left and I go right. There's no reason why we should sit in this for 10 or 20 more years of torment, because normally when a woman is not happy, we just go end up going, not paying you no mind and doing our
Nobody's
own
happy
thing.
when the woman's
Yeah.
not happy.
Yeah. We end up going the opposite way and doing our own thing. So it's like, just take the signs and just call it quits. Like, just cut your losses. Don't try to prove no points. Because sometimes people stay in relationships to prove a point. Like, oh, this person know me and this person been together forever.
I don't
I
post
don't.
you so much on my Instagram. And this
Yeah.
we go together now. This gotta work. You bugging. Like you thought you was
You
going
gotta hold
somewhere.
on.
Exactly. I want to look bad, so let me not break up with them. Like, girl, no. Swallow your pride. Swallow all of that. They'll forget about you tomorrow. It'll be another topic of discussion. It would not be you. I promise you.
The
All
So
easiest way to think about it is your peace of mind over everything.
get peace of mind over everything. That
You
is so sweet.
know.
That is so so
all
so
You-
sweet.
right.
Yep.
Don closes out by telling us about the day. Yes, Don, tell us about the day party, the date, the place.
Okay, so yes, man, it's the day party for a cause. This is put together by the Blueprint Foundation Inc. To the bottom of the screen, screen, Miss Roxanne right there is responsible for putting us all together for this event. And what else can I tell you about this event other than you could drink a beer and send a kid to school at the same time. You know what I mean? So, I don't. It's not a party I think I need to hype up too much. You know what I mean? Like you really are going to, you know, be able to experience a great environment, great vibe and great food. Let me tell you, half of the reason why I'm going to the day party for a cause is the missing food, like the little the little beef patty, the little cheese straw, the egg ball. It's the things that you don't even find around the corner. I mean, and when you do find it, it's
Right.
not to the best. You know what I mean? The food is always good at the day party for a cause. Shout out to Mama for doing her
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? But it's gonna be great entertainment, great vibes. DJ Cash is there, DJ Cat, DJ Solo, Emeka Punch. The punches can sing. They can sing the alphabet. It don't even matter which is the first name. It's a punch is there. A punch is there in the building. You know what I mean? They're bad for days. Gotti G. Happy to see him come out and support this event. He's all the way in I think Maryland or PA somewhere. I don't think he live in New York. So him coming down here for that shows, event support. So big up yourself, Gotti G, for sure. And people come out and support this event. It's 1018 Clarkson Avenue between 92nd and 91st. So what I mean, you can't miss it. Come through and have some good time, and it's for a cause. You know what I'm saying? We are going to be ensuring that after expenses, all of the proceeds go to take care of this stuff. So you guys supporting the event is imperative because she's taking people down to Guyana, and she also wants them to stay comfortably. You know what I'm saying? She's going to provide food for them as well. This is all the back end stuff that is going to be happening, aside from what's happening with the mission already. You know what I mean? So these are some of the expenses that, they're going to face, travel and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's very important that you guys could donate, even if you can't come to the party. Utilize that donate button on Eventbrite, utilize the donate button on the website, the donate button on the Facebook page. I think the links are in the chat. I mean, we could care less if we have 200 people come out to the event and we don't get no kind of donations, because at the end of the day, it's really for the cause. She's not a party promoter, so her having 200 people, 300 people at her event doesn't do anything really for her if it doesn't convert to really helping the cause. So that's what's more important. I got her to come on here to really show her face. She's so shy and want to be in the background, but you know what I mean. When you're dealing with stuff like this, you really have to come forward and let people see your light. Who you are. You're
Definitely.
shining bright. You know what I mean. So don't hide yourself away. Miss Roxanne, you got to come outside
I'm
and
gonna come
let people
outside.
know what you're doing. All right. So
Okay.
yes,
You
June
got,
17th,
got,
Clarkson Law.
you got calls like, oh, we call people in GT. Go by the gate and say, Roxanne.
Hmm.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right,
Because it's like
folks.
your light is what makes this thing move. You know what I mean? Like I could come up here and I could talk about day party for a cause, till my people ears run red. But at the end of the day, you are what brings this whole thing together. You know what I mean? So you can't hide yourself. You got to
Okay.
come outside.
I'm coming
All right.
outside.
Roxanne, please keep Don close to you.
Yes.
Don is gonna be your secret and not so secret weapon. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Roxanne, thank you so much for taking the time out from
Thank you
good
so much
old
for having
sunny
me.
Hawaii. Right. I
Thank
mean, I
you.
gotta say, I envy you, Lil.
Right?
You know,
That's really what I meant to say
getting
when I
all
say
that
I'm glad
fresh
for you,
fruits
friend. I'm
and
glad for you.
vegetables. I mean, you're not supposed to envy, but I envy you.
I'm gonna bring you some when I'm coming.
All right, cool, cool, cool. Don,
All
thanks
right.
for being here. All the folks in the chat, my wife, Orlando, Karen, Aretha. All right, Nikita,
I really miss Orlando tonight, man. Like her contributions was so. You know, this show would have been till 10 o'clock if she was here today because
Right?
we had some
She's a
questions.
great, yeah, she's a great entertainer. I love her.
yeah. All right. So we're gonna leave you with the thought of, when you're dating, when you're going out, men and women, walk with your vex money, cause you never know. You never know what will happen. And I would say this, so always walk with your vex money. This has been episode 2 of the Dust Trail. Thank you so much. Take care, folks.
Christine tells your daughter, when you're dating fellas, walk with your dollars in case of any horrors. These men today, they have this blooming complex. Anytime they date you, they feel they must have sex. You must be defensive and not so sensitive. Make him to no straight to departure would be immediate. Walk with X money and take the next taxi. Walk with X money and say later for he. As he start with he fresh talk, roll